Standing line to miss you.
Some good stuff there, Hayley.
Thank you so much.
Ooh, I am not hearing much of anything here. My mic is being difficult. I think that's better. Good. So, thanks for joining us here at Blues and Beyond.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here. It's so cool.
You hearing yourself okay in the earphones?
Yeah, I can hear myself good.
Good. And so tell me, what have you been up to lately, and how did you get started in this crazy music business?
All right, well, I guess we'll go in chronological order, but which is hard for me sometimes. I get mixed up. But I got into this when I was 12. I started writing songs and was introduced to the Boston folk scene and kind of started playing open mics around the area, and then kind of worked my way up, and then met people and started doing openers and just hanging out and introducing myself to people, and it's been amazing. And I just finished making, well, I didn't just finish making, I've been saying that for a couple of months now. I came out in October and we finished long before that, but this is my first full-length album. It's called Where the Artists Go, and I did it with Lauren Intress, who's the best. And
Lauren's an amazing drummer, amazing producer.
yes.
And you said you had Kevin Barry on guitar, who's great in, the Americana sort of idioms.
Really awesome. Yeah, that was him on that last track. And Mark Corelli is on there, and Jake Armerding, and a lot of well-known people around here. I don't want to forget anyone, but
that's right.
But
Kevin's the newest member of the Jake Hiles Band.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Have you been out to see him with the Jake Hiles Band yet?
I haven't. No, I've heard from somebody, maybe not from him, but I had heard that, but I haven't been out to see him.
Gotta do that. The next,
there.
The Giles Band is a lesson in showmanship for a young artist as well. So you got to go out and do that.
Okay, will do. On my list.
Put it on the list.
I know. So
for
much
sure.
stuff I need to check out and listen to and see, and it's on the list.
What are you listening to kind of soak in the influences these days?
I know there's so much, and I started doing this when I was 12, and before that I liked music, but I wasn't really into it in the way that I became all of a sudden, and so there's so much for me to catch up on, and so many people that I need to learn about that I'm always like, all right, who's my next? I listen to music in a very kind of obsessive way, so it's like a week straight of one person and then a week straight of another person. It's really weird, and they're all I talk about, and then I'm on to somebody new. But I got a record player as a gift for Christmas. And
what's that?
Well, I right? Like, do I have to? I know. All my friends were like, oh, that's big, and what is that? But so I was listening to a lot of Joni Mitchell on my albums around the house. More like modern people. I've been listening to a lot of, who else? The Lumineers, who are kind of a big deal right now. I love them a lot. I have been listening to, I don't know, there's so many people. If you give me, I'll drop them in throughout the show.
I think I saw in your bio that you like Judy Collins or something like that.
Yeah, well, I'm a big fan of that kind of traditional folk stuff, and I was, traditional, but Taj Mahal, yeah, I do.
Taj is cool.
I cover Fish and Blues, his version of it, I love it. But yeah, I got to be in a documentary called For the Love of the Music, the Club 47 Folk Revival, long name. And it's all about the magic that went into making Club 47 as special as it is, and the artists there. And so I'm a big fan of all those people, Bob Dylan, Joan Baez, Judy Collins, all of them. And being in the movie there was such an honor, and the people that were in it were amazing. It's really cool.
Yeah, that's quite a room. And you did play Passim, which is the old Club 47 there.
Yeah. It was super cool. It was... there was no other place I would want to have introduced that record and showed all that new music to people. There's so much magic in that room, and that was the first place I went. I said this on stage that night, that when I first started writing songs and my parents would kind of hear me in the other room, and they were like, well, maybe we should take her to see someone who does this for real. And they brought me to a sold-out show at Club Passim that was Laurie McKenna, who's another one of my favorites.
Oh, she's great.
Yeah, I love her. And it was just so cool that 3 years later there I was, and it was a sold-out show, and I had the full band, and it was honestly a dream come true, so it's really cool.
Super. Well, you know what? I'm going to spin the Goodbye song,
right,
and then I'm going to put you on the hot seat and maybe make you play something.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, cool. You know, I think Back here at Blues and Beyond with Hayley Reardon. How you doing, Hayley?
I'm good.
Oh my goodness, I can hear you now that the mute
yay.
button's on. Hold on your microphone. So anyway, we'll recap some stuff. But you promised us a song, so I want to hear one. How about that?
All right, cool. Well, this song's called Scribbles. So. August always ends, pulling every common thread till I'm left seamless. Then knees lay faceless on the surface as my fingers ache for something new. Hell, the rest of my body starts to feel it too, and we wait. 'Cause if there's one thing I'm good at, it's in being afraid. Well, 'cause I heard with being young can be reckless, but my pen's frozen in the air above my checklist. And I don't know what's around my neck, but it's just as tight as it is hard to see. And I'm the farthest thing from free. No, I'll never know myself like my scribbles seem to know me. I'll write songs on the walls that hold me back. No, I can't break them down, but some words fit through the crack. As my fingers ache for something new, hell, the rest of my body starts to feel it too, and we wait. 'Cause if there's one thing we're good at, it's in being afraid. Well, 'cause I heard with being young can be reckless, but my pen's frozen in the air above my checklist. And I don't know what's around my neck, but it's just as tight as it is hard to see. And I'm the farthest thing from free. No, I'll never know myself like my scribbles seem to know me. No, I'll never know myself. Ooh.
Love that tune.
Thank you.
So, you strike me as a very pensive young lady, and very artistic. And what do you attribute that to?
I don't know. I'm really intrigued. I have a story I'll tell later that goes along with a certain song, but I'm just really intrigued by that kind of side of like the artist in everyone. And I kind of have this whole thing about not the obvious term of the word artist of like making art, but I feel like everyone has this thing in them that's bright and vibrant and colorful, and it's what we don't always see. And I'm really intrigued by that, and I'm really intrigued by my own kind of feelings. And my mom's a guidance counselor. We talk about feelings. I don't know.
There's no question. As I said, I'm a BC alum, so I had a dose of the Jesuits and the Christian Brothers, and there's no question. There's a divinity in all of us. There's something really special, and you're right. We don't always get through the subterfuge and the day-to-day mundane stuff to find out what's special about the person right next to us, and you seem to write about that sort of thing.
Yeah. I don't know. I really found a voice. I was always a really quiet kid, and I found a voice in my songs, and it's just become so much a part of me that I love it so much, and I just really strive to be really honest and everything. So I don't know.
Does it help you to come out of your shell in other aspects of your life, or are you still kind of quiet?
I'm still quiet in other aspects of my life. Definitely, I'm still kind of a nervous kid, but it's helped all around with me coming to terms with myself and figuring out who I am, which helps everywhere. So, and just being able to have a place to sit down and figure things out. A lot of times I don't even really know what I'm feeling, and being a teenager, I guess I kind of feel a lot, and I won't really know, and I'll sit down and all of a sudden the song will come out and I'll be like, oh, it makes sense now. And to be able to put that on paper and then give it to other teenage girls specifically is really cool. So the connection that I have when I go into schools and meet other people who are like me, it's really cool to be able to kind of put those adolescent feelings to words. So
yeah, there's nothing but a torrent of feelings at that age.
Yes, yeah.
God help you. Yeah. So tell me more about the organization you work with and what you're doing in schools, because I think that's kind of a fantastic thing to do at your age.
Thank you.
Or at any age.
Well, thank you. I believe in it a lot, so it's really cool. But when I was 12 years old, I wrote a song about, or I guess when I was in 7th grade, I had a friend that went through a really hard time with bullying, and it was my first kind of introduction to what that was. It was kind of like a hot button word at the time, but I didn't really see it, and I didn't connect with the word at all. I kind of pictured old-fashioned black and white movies, kids shoving other kids in lockers. I just didn't connect with it at all. And
there was plenty of that when I was growing up.
Yeah.
That wasn't so long ago.
Right, and I'm sorry, not black and white movies. But I had this friend that went through a really hard time with bullying, and all of a sudden I kind of got it, and I went home and wrote a song about it. And a lot of times I'll write a song that's like, this is going to go on my CD, or I'm going to play this at my gigs, but sometimes I'll write one that's just for me, and it's sort of my own way of working through something. And that was the case with this song, and it was really just, even as much as it was about my friend, it was more about my own struggle and not really knowing how to help her and being introduced to this new kind of thing that I'd never seen before. And in the midst of that, I stumbled across an organization called the Pacer Center, and they're based out of Minneapolis, Minnesota, and originally got started to work with kids with disabilities and their families and all of the struggles that go along with that. But since then, they'd branched out into these two subcategories of kids against bullying and teens against bullying. And they became the National Center for Bullying Prevention. And their Teens Against Bullying website was one of the most real, kind of straightforward, for teens, by teens thing I'd seen out there. And it was basically a movement of teenagers who believed that the end of bullying begins with them, and who believed in coming together and just kind of standing up to this whole thing. And I loved what they were doing, and I sent an email to the executive director there and just thanked her and told her my story and sent her my song. And she was like, we'd love to send this out to schools across the country as a part of our National Bullying Prevention Month, which is every October. And so I spent most of 7th grade coming home from school and getting emails from kids all over the world and telling me about how they've been bullied and how their friends have been bullied and how alone they felt and everything they've been through. And it made it all the more real for me, and I've worked with them for 3 years now. And so we did a toolkit when I was in 7th grade, a toolkit when I was in 8th grade, and those were both very much about bullying. But when I got to 9th grade, I was writing about different things, and they were kind of shifting their efforts and growing as an organization as I was growing as an artist. And we created a toolkit that's more about individuality and unity, and looking for, like I was just talking about, or we were just talking about, looking for that thing in everyone that's different and that we don't always get to see because it's in high school especially is kind of swept under the carpet. But
no, when you say toolkit, what does it comprise?
I know everyone gets
what
so
comprises a toolkit? I kind of have an idea, but
well, it's not like anything they receive in the mail. It's online. But there.
So it's not in the weekly reader. They don't have the weekly reader anymore.
No. It's on pacer.org or teensagainstbullying.org, and they do all sorts of different toolkits for teachers in classrooms, focusing on all different things, all different age levels, all different situations, all different kind of. They have a lot to offer, but my toolkits are a song, a video, the lyrics, and then classroom discussion questions and activities. So like for my song Tribe, which I'll play for you soon if that's okay, but it's
it's a video that I made to go along with the song. That's a bunch of girls that I've met over my time playing in schools and doing this whole thing that are holding up lyrics to the song, and it relates. It's about kind of finding yourself as a girl, and then there's classroom discussion questions and this whole exercise that highlights the individuality of people in the room. I don't know. It's interesting. It's really cool. It's, I think, a different outlook on the whole bullying thing, because it's not about pointing out the bully. It's about pointing out the people that we might not know something about. But that developed into a school program that I do all over the country, where I call it my Find Your Voice performance, and I basically talk about the voice that my music has allowed me to find in myself, and the way that now I'm able to stand up for what I believe in and speak out about things that matter, and just about finding your voice and your individuality and your spark and being able to use it for things that matter. So it's been really fun.
So I know you've traveled far and wide, as we were discussing earlier.
Yeah.
And I'd love to hear maybe your favorite place that you went, and then something about maybe the most impactful interaction that you've had, or a couple with folks that you've met.
Yeah. Okay, well, my favorite place that I've been for this stuff, for the school performances, I went to some of the places that I've spent the most time in would be Michigan and Minneapolis, because that's where the Pacer Center is. But in Michigan, I loved the people there, and I also loved Ann Arbor. Fell in love with Ann Arbor, so that was amazing. But even more than that, Alaska blew me away. Not only because Alaska is beautiful, but I wasn't really even thinking about that when we went. I was just like, oh, it's Alaska, it's gonna be cold, whatever. But the thing that shocked me was the really down to earth, open people. It was they were just really special. Everyone there, everyone that I met were amazing, amazing people. So that was really cool. But my favorite story or my favorite interaction with somebody that I've met through this kind of school positive message stuff is this. It actually relates back to this song once again. But I started high school, and I wrote this song that was sort of about looking for the people that accept you for who you are, and looking for the group of people that really want you to be yourself. And I wrote the whole first verse and chorus, and it says, like, I whisper to myself, and it was kind of written to me. And then I stopped. I have this little syndrome where after I get through my first chorus, I like give up, and then it never gets finished. So I was just kind of never did anything with the song. And I had this idea that I wanted it to be about tribe, or to use the word tribe, about your tribe being the group of people that you can be yourself around. And
I say that all the time, like
I love that.
I'm a proud Boston Irish guy, and I always refer to my lace curtain Irish people.
Yeah, exactly.
With a name like Reardon, you must be one of my people.
Yes.
You're a paisan, yeah?
We are, yes. We're in the same tribe.
There you go. But you're not lace curtain, right?
Yeah.
Are you people from Dorchester?
Dorchester. Everyone always asks me whenever I go to these places, like, where's your Boston accent? And I'm like, I don't know if you can understand me if I brought it with me.
And you know what I tell people when they ask me that? My parents paid a lot of money for me to have an education.
That's where it is. I left it in the first grade. But anyway, I had written half of this song, and one day I got an email from this girl that was in school. She was emailing me on her phone, and she was sitting in the bathroom eating alone, and just talked about how there are a lot of times where she feels worthless, and like she doesn't have a reason or a purpose to be here, and then she'll listen to my songs, and it reminds her that she has a reason. And that was so meaningful to me, and I decided that I needed to finish this song for this girl, and that it wasn't just about my tribe, it was about all of our tribes, and the fact that all the people that feel like they don't belong can build their own tribe together. And so I finished the song right then and there, and I recorded it on GarageBand, and I sent it to her that day and said that I just finished the song because of you, and I want you to know that you are my tribe. And that was probably one of the most impactful things. She's still my little pen pal. We email all the time, and
nice.
And so I have a lot of people that I keep in contact with, but that one was very, very impactful for me. So, and it made me finish my song, which was the motivation I needed. So, woo-hoo. Yes.
Cool. Well, plenty you laid on us.
All right. I'm gonna read you a little something. When we made this album, I really wanted there to be some kind of window into my artistic thought process that went beyond just what you hear on the album. And so we created, me and the graphic artist who did this, who's incredible. Her name's Tatiana Markushian. She's around here if you're looking for a graphic artist. But we created this 20-page booklet that is pretty much the diary behind the songs, and it has stories and little anecdotes and pictures and messages to go along with the lyrics to every song. And this is really the only way I've figured out how to introduce this one, so this is what I wrote for Tribe. But I know what it's like to want something different than everyone else around you, and to feel like the more you find yourself, the less of you they understand. I wrote this song about learning for myself that all we need to be is what makes us feel alive, and eventually we'll find our tribe, a group of people who understand and don't want for us to be anything but ourselves. So many times I think all I've needed to hear is let it go, little girl. Let go of the ones who don't understand and hold out for the ones who do. Don't lose yourself in the search, because your tribe is waiting. And once you find them, you'll know what it means to belong. This is Tribe. I don't know where I all of a sudden stopped belonging here. With all of these faces, I was one and the same. So I rearranged, they disappeared, and no one knows me anymore. And I got tired of thinking like everybody else. I'd block my ears and whisper to myself, why don't you let it go, little girl? 'Cause what this world needs is for you to be exactly who you want to. Let it go, little girl. And when the voices multiply and crowd around her, promise me she is gonna sing a little louder. Oh. And so I've grown and come to know a different kind of home. We're not alone, and you're not alone, never alone, little girl. You see our blue-blooded sparkles with this art and words written up and down our arms, and we are yours. Yes, you belong, little girl. So let it go. And when the voices multiply and try to drown her, she's gonna sing. So sing until the tribe has found her.
Very nice.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So, what strikes me when you sing and play is that you have a real mastery of dynamics that
Thank you.
I don't really see in young performers much. And Lauren Entrust works with Ronnie Earl. In the blues, no one manages the dynamics of drawing in a crowd, playing real soft and sweet and then blowing it out more than Ronnie Earl. Did Lauren help you with that, or is there a teacher in your life, or is this something that just comes naturally to you?
I don't. I've started working with Lauren recently on we're kind of playing with different sounds, and I don't even know what you call it, but we've started just bringing in different musicians and rehearsing and trying to find like a sound that's in between full band and just me. But I don't know if we've worked on dynamic, or not for these songs. I think we've worked on dynamics just like when we jam, but for these songs, I just kind of
Like
write
just
them.
say naturally, you've got it.
Yeah, because I
Anyway.
wouldn't have thought that. Like, I wouldn't. There are people that I listen to, and I'm definitely like, that person nails their dynamics. But I wouldn't have thought of myself as being good at dynamics, really. So I don't know. I don't really know where that comes from. I know that I have a lot of wonderful musical influences and teachers in my life. Raymond Gonzalez is my guitar teacher, and he's amazing, and a great teacher and a great player and really awesome. And I do performance with Dawn White, or I study performance with Dawn White, who's singer, songwriter, folk musician, and he's awesome. And I have a lot of people, a lot of great teachers around me, but I don't know where they came from. Probably some of them along the way, maybe. I don't know.
No, I mean, and certainly we listen to music and we internalize it. And I hear just a lot of the best of a lot of different types of singer-songwriters and performers that you're kind of making it your own already. And, rather than just mimicking, but there are elements of just a great singer-songwriter tradition that you've already kind of got it nailed. And
Thank you so much. That means a lot.
No, and I can hear you performing, and I know it's Hayley singing, which is just so important, when you're trying to establish yourself as someone unique in the marketplace.
Yeah, I feel like that's for me. That's what this record was. Like, it was the first time that I kind of had all the pieces and all the influences come together to create me, and I had something that was like, this is actually me, and so that's what this was for me. So that means a lot to hear from you. So thank you.
No, I hear an awful lot of music in being on air. It all comes to the house, and a lot goes past the years, and I don't like much of it. But I like your stuff, Hayley.
Thank you. That means a lot. Thank you.
Oh, stop. But what else do you have going on? I know you have a couple of house gigs that you kind of maintain, or regular gigs, and I know people want to come out and hear you live. So let's talk about that.
Okay, so I started doing, like, I've been doing for, I don't know, 5 months now maybe, a monthly show at the Walnut Street Cafe in Lynn, which is it's a cafe in Lynn that Dawn White, that I was just speaking of, kind of took under his wing and was like, the people of Lynn need a place for expression, and made it 7 nights a week of performance. So people come in and do slam poetry.
I thought that was Revere Beach on the boardwalk, where they have, anyway.
Well, there's another one of them now.
Okay.
But anyway, so people come in 7 nights a week, and it's there's open mics with slam poetry and readings and belly dancing and singing, and it's just really cool because it's a place for people to literally just go and speak their mind, and I wanted a place to experiment and try things out and bring in friends and just do newer things and, I don't know, bounce new songs off people. And so I started doing this every month, and it's been so fun, and I get so excited about it because I get to just bring in people that I've met along the way and try out new songs, and it's totally relaxed, and it's really, so it's a whole different atmosphere to come see me play in. But our next one is next weekend on the 18th, so that's on Friday night, next Friday.
And where exactly is that? Do you know the address?
Yeah, it's the Walnut Street Cafe, which is 157 Walnut Street, and if you Google that, it's in Lynn, Mass. It's all over the internet, but so that's the next thing I got going on, which is next weekend, Friday. Yeah. So.
And where can people find you on the web?
Me on my website is www.hayleyreardon.com, and it's Hayley. Nobody ever spells that right, so 2 I's, one in the middle and one at the end, and reardon.com, and that's kind of home base. That's where all the info is, but I'm also on all those other sites. I'm a teenager, and I'm on the internet all the time, so Twitter, Facebook, iTunes.
Oh, good, you can teach me how to use Twitter, because
I can. I was scared of it too for a while. I used to be like, it's so weird, but I love it.
Yeah.
I do that more than my homework. I just tweet.
I'm an IT consultant, and I just haven't gotten around to Twitter yet. You need to explain to me what.
I know. Once you get the hang of it, though. Yeah, at first
Yeah.
It's weird. It's like, what am I going to say in 3 sentences? But I love it. So.
Cool.
Yeah.
You seem to be an efficient writer, and that's important.
Thank you.
As was Hemingway and Fitzgerald. That was one of my favorite classes at BC. And just studied Hemingway and Fitzgerald.
That's awesome.
Not a lot of fancy language. They got down to it.
Mm-hmm,
Should read all those guys.
I know. I got a Fitzgerald for Christmas, so
Did you?
Got to get on that. I was just it was just the Great Gatsby, but yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna twist your arm for maybe another tune.
Sure. Yes. All right. I'm gonna play the title track, but I'm gonna tell a little story too. I can't stop talking and telling stories. But I wrote this song at the end of 8th grade, so we know it's a good one. My 8th grade anthem here, But we were assigned this project at the end of the year where we had to draw ourselves exactly as we saw ourselves. And then inside our bodies, we were told to put adjectives to explain how we view ourselves. And outside, we were told to put adjectives to explain how we think that other people view us. And then we got paired up with kids, and we had to talk about why we drew and wrote what we did. And I got paired up with this boy that I didn't really know very well. And I didn't know that he could draw, but he was an unbelievable artist. And he had drawn his body all in black and white. And then coming up out of his head was this explosion of thoughts and symbols and colors and ideas, and he had all of his adjectives about himself up in the thought bubble instead of in his body like we were assigned. And he sat with me and talked to me about how he saw himself as unsocietal, which I've since learned isn't a word, but he said it, so it's literally written inside the album. And then I was like, oh, that's not a word. But whatever, he's called himself unsocietal, and how he had one hand open and one clasped tight, and only one word inside his body, and it just said human, as if that was the only thing he really knew about himself, because he was still kind of figuring it out. And all these little elements were just so cool to me, and I went home that day and couldn't stop thinking about what an artist this kid was, and the fact that he had this whole explosion inside of him, and that I'd sat in class with him for 8 years and had no idea about it. And so I wrote this song for him, and since then it's kind of become my thing to look for the artist in everyone, and the light and the color and the explosion. And it's what I named the album after, because I kind of felt like it was all of the influences and people that have inspired me, and the people that are proud to just kind of let their artists out, finally came together as one thing, and I found my own artist. And so that's sort of what the album was for me. It's kind of weird, but this is called Where the Artists Go. And there's a place you know where the artists go, and honey colors line the sky. When you're alive inside, just your thunderous mind, always chasing, searching, always something new to find. And someday the walls of this town are gonna cave in, and this explosion inside you is gonna burst through your skin. 'Cause you see the beauty with one hand open and one clasped tight. Society don't know a damn about this life. And when they ask you for your name, you reply with all you know, saying I am human. I am human. And there's a place you know where the artists go, and nobody holds an unseen light. Nobody's masked. There's no stolen skin, 'cause you're proud to belong where nobody fits in. And as you burn bright with this youth, hold on to those eyes that cut straight to the truth. 'Cause you see the beauty with one hand open and one clasped tight. Society don't know a damn about this life. And when they ask you for your name, you reply with all you know, saying I am human. I am human.
So I have to ask, so Where has it gone with this young boy in 8th grade? Has a friendship developed there, or?
A little bit. I was very nervous to tell him because I was like, well, it's so creepy. I wrote the song like about this boy. And
Yeah, you're kind of a creeper.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my God.
I was like, if I tell him, he's gonna think I'm psycho. And so I finally told him because when I was doing that documentary, for the Love of the Music documentary, we were going to do the filming, and I had just written a song, was kind of excited about it, and I wanted to play it. And so my dad was like, you should probably tell him. And so I was in gym class, and I told one of my friends about it, and I was like, I have to go tell him. And she was like, it's okay, I'll go with you. So I remember in 8th grade walking up to him in gym class and being like, I wrote a song about you, but it's not really weird, and I have to play this movie over the weekend. Are you okay? Okay. And then just walked away. I was like very nervous. But since then, he helped out with the artwork for the cover of the album, because it was sort of themed after his drawing, and me and him and the graphic artist kind of all collaborated there, and we're still kind of quiet, but I'd say we're friends now. Yes.
That's cool. That's cool. So you like set a boundary. We're not getting pinned. We're not going to the prom, but we're cool. We got this thing.
Well, I mean the
Do kids still get pinned, or is that something only in black and white too?
I don't know what pinned means.
Exactly.
I probably do. There's probably a new word for it, but I don't know what it is.
Back in olden times, if you liked a girl, you gave her a pin and kind of rather than a ring. And
oh, okay. Yeah,
kids,
pin. That makes sense. Okay, well, it wasn't really a pinning situation. It was more my artistic exploration. I don't know, but he's an artist, and he's really cool, and he's really good at what he does. So yeah, he knows now, so I don't know. Who knows? We'll see.
There you go.
Yeah.
So you might get pinned to go to the prom, is what you're saying.
Maybe, but probably not after my creepy move of writing a song and making the whole thing about him and then publicly say. I was in gym class the other day, and we play music in gym, and one of my friends was like about to play a song off this album on there, and they were about to play Where the Artists Go, and then they were like, oh wait, he's in the room. We can't play the song. So, I don't know.
All right, so I just made this poor teen young lady even squirm more than usual. I'm sorry.
Don't worry.
So, do you have anything else you want to perform live here for us? Or should we go to the tape and play music? We have that queued up.
I think you should play music because I love that song, and there's a Jamaican reggae artist on it that isn't here, so I couldn't do it without him. So go ahead.
All right. Keep it tuned here to Blues and Beyond with Jim Carty. Hayley Reardon in the studio with us, and she's not going anywhere for a little while, so stick around.
Okay, so this is really new, and it's about being nervous. It's called Nervous. I know a boy or two with cards, but I've never wanted love. I only want the stars, and some call it focus. I guess they never notice that I can't move out from familiar feet, and everything sways as broken beat. Maybe I don't do it on purpose. Maybe parts of me, they still get nervous. Oh no, I still get nervous. Well, I got my name down on the page, but sometimes I'm urine blurs and it's not the same. And that's when my words outrun the rest of me. But some call it focus. I guess they never noticed that I can't move out from familiar feet, and everything sways as broken beat. Maybe I don't do it on purpose. Maybe parts of me, they still get nervous. Oh no, I still get nervous. I can't move out from familiar feet, and everything sways to this broken beat.
seem nervous performing in here today.
Thank you.
You did just great.
Thanks so much. Thank you for having me.
Well, you're always welcome, and so is your dad and your mom if she gets up early enough some Saturday morning to come slug into town.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us today.
Thank you. It's been so fun.
All right, why don't you give listeners one more lowdown of your website and your next gig and all that important information.
All right, awesome. Okay, so if you want to see me at a special kind of impromptu fun thing next Friday night at the Walnut Street Cafe, that's in Lynn, Mass. It's 157 Walnut Street. And my website is www.hayleyreardon.com, HAYLEYREARDON. And then anywhere else on the internet or Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, iTunes, whatever, you can find me there too. So.
And the new release that came out in October is?
It's called Where the Artists Go.
And the best place to buy that on your site or CD Baby, Amazon, where is it at?
You can get the physical thing off my site. That would be the best place. Also, Newbury Comics, if you're in the Boston area, you can get the real thing there, and that's always fun. So,
Way cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, record stores.
Yeah.
Love them.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So.
All right. Well, we're going to jump into some of the artists playing around.